Welcome back to the Glacier Guys podcast. I'm Ethan Alesha.
And I'm Joey Fernandez.
And today we have a very special guest. We have Maria Thurman from the women's cross country team. She's a freshman from Hickory Hills Stagg High School. Thank you for coming on today.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. So just to get started, when did you first become interested in cross country?
It actually started when I was in grade school. I was very interested in all the running type games like tag, freeze tag, during recess. And then one of the recess supervisors told me that she thought that cross country and track would be a very good fit for me once I get into middle school, and that's how it all began.
And is that when your cross country career kind of started, was middle school?
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Interesting. So you did it all of middle school. Did you have any success or anything like that, or were you just?
I didn't really
started?
have success in middle school. I mainly just did the sport for fun back then.
Mhm.
Okay.
And when did you start taking it seriously, would you say?
I'd say sophomore year of high school is when I started really getting into it.
Mm-hmm. How was your high school cross country experience at Stagg?
It was full of injuries because I always tried getting better and I overworked myself. So it was full of injuries, learning how to not overwork myself.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of what goes into not overworking yourself, would you say? Is it more of a mental thing or?
Yeah, it is more of a mental thing because you have to kind of tell yourself what's enough. You have to listen to your coaches, and that's kind of what I didn't do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How much different is the sport going from high school to college, would you say? What are some differences, if there are any?
It is kind of different. Coaches are all different. Every coach has a different coaching style.
Okay.
So what one workout a coach will think is best, another coach might not agree with it.
So stylistically, what are some of the main differences between, let's say, your high school coach and then your college coach?
My high school coach was a lot more laid back, but she also was very tough with workouts. With college, Coach Dimitri is our coach for the women and men's cross-country team, and he does have a bunch of tough workouts that he has us do, but he doesn't want to overwork us either. So if something's bothering us, like I had issues with my knee and my hip during the season, he didn't make me do as many reps of a workout.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
Okay. So were you recruited by the coaches coming out of high school, or did you just decide to try out or walk on?
I was recruited. Coach Dimitri reached out to me the end of senior year of high school.
Okay. Was that a phone call, email? How did you guys get in touch?
I believe he reached out to me through email first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was through email, definitely.
Did you always know that you wanted to continue on with cross country into college?
Yeah, once I started noticing my potential in high school, especially when I started improving a lot, I definitely was considering moving on and running to the next level.
Mm-hmm. And then kind of going back to just differences between high school and college, you said there was a different coaching style. Which one would you think is more beneficial to you, at least, or more effective?
Definitely my coach's style now,
Mm-hmm.
because I definitely have improved throughout the season. Beginning of the season I wasn't doing too well, but then the more races we went to, the more he worked us, I realized how much it benefited me.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you say some of your goals were going into this season, personally and as a team?
Going into the season, I didn't really know what to expect, but I went into the season telling myself that I wanted to get better, I wanted to be stronger.
Okay. Would you say you met those goals?
Yes, I would say I met those goals.
Gotcha. You guys had a great season. Even with injuries and everything, you were able to win both the region and conference titles. How did that feel? Kind of walk me through that.
It felt really good. I was teary-eyed when I found out that we won conference and regionals because I wasn't expecting it. There was a really tough team we had to beat, and we beat them.
Mm-hmm. What were your expectations going into that? Take second place maybe? What did you think was going to happen?
As a team, I didn't know how we would do. I just hoped that we did pretty well to where Dimitri would be proud of us,
Mhm.
and I wanted to place as an individual so that way I can move on to nationals.
Gotcha.
Okay. So what was your favorite part of the season, would you say? Whether it's during a meet or outside of the meet.
My favorite part of the season probably would be the conference regionals meet, just because of how good we did as a team and individually. Everybody did great.
Hmm. And then after the conference title, you guys obviously moved down to nationals. How was that experience?
It was very different because I've never been to a meet outside of the state before,
Hmm.
until I joined the Marine team.
Hmm.
And, you see people, some of the best people in the country racing. So I felt kind of intimidated, but I was also very excited to be racing a race like that.
Hmm. Like with the intimidation, were you kind of extra motivated just to have that like competition?
Yeah, the intimidation does come with motivation. I definitely would say that.
Hmm.
How much different was the course compared to maybe the ones around here?
Actually, in Virginia, we raced November 13th, I believe.
Mhm.
So while it was like cold and I think it was actually snowing back here,
Huh.
it was in the 70s over there. It was very nice weather.
What's your ideal like running temperature? Would you say like 50s or is like 70s nice? Because obviously like you don't want to be running in the snow, but you know.
Yeah, you don't want to be running in the snow, but you don't want to be running when it's too hot either.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say high 50s, 60s.
Gotcha.
So, so those August meets are probably brutal then with the heat and stuff like that.
Yeah, when it's hot, it's not good racing conditions. You're all sweaty and gross afterwards.
Is it better to have like an overcast, or do you like when it's sunny out, or just cloudy? Like.
I like when it's cloudy, but I don't like it to the point where I have to wear gloves or anything, because
Mhm.
I don't like wearing all those extra layers when you're running.
Mhm. And then when you like race when there's wind, is it ever like behind you like helping, or is it usually just in your face, would you say?
Typically the wind doesn't affect me, but if the wind is
Okay.
very heavy and it's like blowing directly on you, then that's kind of annoying.
Hmm. And we talked about some of your favorite parts of the season. Was there anything that you didn't like any least favorite parts of the season, would you say?
Some of the workouts were pretty brutal. I'd say that's the only part I didn't really like.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. So, looking forward to next season, what are you trying to improve?
Next season, I'd say gain a better relationship with my teammates, and I definitely want to improve physically. I want to get those PRs. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay.
How was the team chemistry this year, would you say?
Team chemistry, I'd say everybody liked each other, everybody tolerated each other at least.
Mhm.
I'd say there might have been like a couple of favorites, but everybody was really nice. Definitely more than what I expected.
That's good.
Joining a new team.
How was the relationship with the coaches and the players and stuff like that?
Everybody loves the coaches. They're very nice. He definitely allows us to speak our minds, and I know I definitely was not afraid to tell him if something was bothering me. I wasn't afraid to tell him like, oh, I don't really like this workout,
Yeah.
Hmm.
Back in high school, it was I didn't really feel comfortable speaking my mind.
Gotcha.
Makes sense.
Hmm. I know you mentioned that, like, you said this was the first time you ever did a race outside of Illinois. Outside of the Virginia Nationals, was there any other meets that were outside of the state?
Yes, there was one in Indiana, and there was another one in Wisconsin.
Okay.
Okay.
Gotcha. And how were those, kind of?
The Wisconsin one I did not like, and I think all of my teammates can agree with me on that. It was a very hilly, disgusting course, and the Indiana one, it was a pretty good course.
Hmm. So flatland's ideal, right?
Yeah, flat
Okay.
is very, very ideal.
Gotcha.
The way you described it sounds pretty Wisconsin to me. So
Yeah, very hilly and just gross.
Yeah, exactly. So say after next year, do you have any plans of continuing cross country, or are you not sure yet?
Unfortunately, after Moraine, I am not continuing on with cross country because I'm graduating here with an associate's.
Mhm.
Okay.
But I do plan to continue running myself.
Okay.
Just like as a hobby in your free time.
Yeah.
That's nice. Anything else that you want to say just about your teammates? And actually, I was gonna ask, did you guys do any like team bonding things like after a race? Like, would you guys go out to eat?
Yeah, we would go out to eat after races. We would all try to agree on one place where we could go eat.
Was that hard to do or not really?
It wasn't really. Sometimes the coach would pick like whoever improved the most at a race, like whoever
Oh, that's good
got,
motivation.
got like a better PR. He let them choose.
It's a lot
Yeah.
of power.
Where we were eating.
The big pick for
You're like,
everyone.
all right. If you get your PR, you're choosing where everybody eats. Did traveling? So I'm assuming for these longer races, you guys just had to go on the team bus, right?
Yeah.
Did you guys have to wear masks? Like, was there any COVID-related things or?
We did take some COVID precautions, but
Mhm.
basically when you're so close with your teammates in one space, it's kind of hard.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then for some of those longer rides, did it cause any fatigue? Would you say for yourself, just like sitting on a bus and then going to race right after? Or?
No, sometimes though we would have to get on the bus pretty early in the morning and then we'd just sleep on the bus on the way there, but no, I'd say no.
Gotcha. And then so Virginia, how long was that trip from Illinois to Nationals?
Actually, the whole team besides for me took a plane there. I did not take a plane. I actually drove there and that took about 14-15 hours.
Oh my gosh.
Did
Wow.
you drive by yourself or did you drive with other people or?
I went with my mother, my sister, and my dog.
Okay.
Gotcha.
I was
How
gonna
was
say.
the drive? Was it just, would you say it was a good experience, or was it kind of just like you're ready to get there?
It was pretty good because I've been on long road trips before,
Okay.
but the scary part is you go through these mountains when you get through Pennsylvania, I believe,
Mhm.
and the roads are super narrow. You see signs that say falling rocks, and there's like
Oh, I've
animals.
seen those before.
There's
Yeah.
animals running in front of your car, and you're like, how did they even get here when there's like two mountains surrounding you?
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
That is pretty scary.
Did you have any closing remarks just about the season, or is there anything else you wanted to say? Or?
I'd just like to say I really enjoyed being on the team this season, and I hope that it gets even better next season.
Awesome.
Okay.
You have anything else, Joe?
No.
All right. Thanks again, Maria, for coming on. I really appreciate it. You guys can find this episode on the Glacier website. Thank you for tuning in, and hope to see you next week.
Peace.